Hello. Alright, is anybody gonna do fast option? Nope, nope, everyone's setting manually. That's funny. Alright, this is Ty Kevin83 talking. Who can hear me? Are you guys ready for some four-way yellow races? Because I always love the four-ways. It's like the perfect amount of people for a yellow race. You can kind of keep track of everybody. Oh, no, darn! Another not fast options. Okay, yeah, we need to know like who is who, like who's in which quadrant. That would be really great. If Pseudo Trainer can like label the quadrants here in some way. Because this is going to be considerably less fun if I'm just like, okay, top left corner guy is in really good shape. Yeah, so, I am super excited. The old options check. Also, top left is way darker than everybody else. Maybe they're on Game Boy Player and capturing and doing it weird. Okay, we got a label for Max Cash. Pongo.cat? What? Are I gonna have that competition from the... I'm pretty sure top left is non-emu. Yeah, Araya is the non-emulator. I figured that out. Yeah, I think that the layout here could have been improved a bit, but it's not that big of a deal. We're gonna get you the information you need to enjoy this four-way race. It's probably actually like partial versus full problem from the capture, because the spectrum of brightness on old NTSC is something like 19 to 234 instead of 0 to 255. So you have to account for that in the OBS settings when you're capturing. Who's excited to learn about Pokemon? I'm ready to tell you guys everything I know about Pokemon Yellow. Okay, we got Felmeme in the top right. Marcher in the bottom right. Max Cash in bottom left, and Araya at the top left. Yes, I am all set. Pseudo. Feel free to get people going whenever. You didn't chill? Oh, darn. I'm gonna tell you guys everything I know, and I'm going to tell you guys everything that's happening. Estimate 220. What is this weak sauce estimate? 220? I think my estimate for yellow runs is like a race is like a 205 now. Come on, people. Accurate estimate. But no, I probably would get like a 210 if I tried to do a run right now, so, Oh! Some people are starting! Some people are starting! I see some people, but others not. Oh no, March! March, please! March! Okay. Everybody's actually starting now. We've got people... We've got people starting their name. Everyone's A now. Okay, so something really interesting here. The rival name being, one character in Glitchless is actually not the optimal way. If you could play perfectly, you would set a rival name with 5 characters and then delete 4 of the characters. And what that would do is it would get you a different intro cutscene in this, you get this big screen wipe there, right? It goes all the way up and around, but a different, shorter screen wipe happens if you name the rival differently, because the rival cutscene is actually glitched. It tries to check the HP of your Pokemon and the enemy Pokemon to set up that screen wipe, but that's totally glitched because you don't have a Pokemon yet. I mean, it's a glitch either way, because the normal screen wipe also is glitched, reading from the rival name. It's just nobody had noticed this before until some investigation we did recently. Okay, now, people are going to be picking Eevee and then failing because the rival pushes you away, and instead getting Pikachu. I can see Araya already getting a decent lead on mashing. Yeah, weed with the same comment. Thank you, Wartab. I figured I would just drop a little bit of the task commentary in here, but let's go back to Glitchless. Araya getting a good lead from his mashing already, and he's gonna start spamming Thundershock on Eevee, and everybody else is gonna do the same thing. Okay, he already got a critical hit. So, with Tail Whip also coming in, all he needs is Eevee to not use Tackle. Oh, he got 2 criticals. Okay, he should actually be free now to win the fight, unless he gets a low roll. Yep, so he got a perfect fight. 3-turn win. Really good stuff. And Max Cash also got a really good fight, I think. Foul Meme could die. Oh, Foul Meme's dying. Foul Meme is on vape strats or resetting. Looks like he's on vape strats. Okay, so we got Araya and Max Cash both with very fast Flareon starts, and Foul Meme with a Vaporeon start. I did not catch what March's start was, but VAP instead of VAC. That's funny. Okay. What happens there is if you lose the battle, it tries to give you like an mode. Vaporeon being, of course, super affected by electric moves. So it assumes you have Pikachu still, and you're going to be using electric on Vaporeon and destroying it with your Pikachu. But that's not going to actually matter for the difficulty of us, since we have Nidoking. The only annoyance is that we have to fight a Ninetales instead of a Cloyster, because the entire team is different to make up for the typing. It tries to keep the rivals team diverse. So instead of having 2 water Pokemon with Cloyster and Vaporeon, it changes out the Cloyster for a Ninetales. Ooh, Max getting better encounter luck on the way back to Viridian City. And March making some time back up too, also with his encounter luck. But Araya making up an encounter on the last patch. Oh, and March got an encounter in the last patch too. Felmeme going for YOLO Grass and not getting it. It does pseudo. It looks a little bit more accurate. However, it probably would be better done on Araya's end. But that's beyond the fight right now. So everybody getting weird encounter luck. Araya keeping the lead now. So it's going to be down to this last stretch up back to Viridian City to see how it goes. Yeah, if everybody was horizontal, that would probably match a little better. Of course, you can't YOLO Grass in RTA, so... War tab, lol. Araya with the 2 encounters right away at the beginning of the Route 1 grass. March taking a little bit of a lead here with his encounter luck. Oh, and now Max Cash. Alright. So we've got Max Cash pulling out ahead in the start here. But I'm sure Araya's matching with this difference could keep him right up there. He's right behind. So what they're going to do here is buy several extra Pokeballs in case they miss the YOLO Ball manips. And then... Ooh, we've also got Araya buying a Paralyze heal. So he's going very safe strats here. Buying that Paralyze heal. So I guess if he misses Pikachu, or yeah, misses the Nidoran with YOLO Ball, he can switch to attacking it and use the Paralyze heal if needed. Parliz heal. Oh, he's also going for Tree Potion. Man, Araya just wants that safety today. Alright, we've got Max Cash with his reset. We've got March with the reset. We've got Araya with the reset. It's really neck and neck. Up to the YOLO Ball. Let's see who gets it. Max gets the encounter. March gets the encounter. Araya gets the encounter. It's Nido, 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 Nido everywhere. Max gets the YOLO Ball. March gets the YOLO Ball. Araya. Thunder Shocking Nidoran. Max's split key must be the same as the save state load key. I've had that problem before. So Araya swapping and healing. Felmeme still trying to get his Nido. He has a breakout. Now, you want to leer this Caterpie once, usually, and then start tackling it. So, I think Max Cash might have made a slight mistake there with his Lear count. Fell Meme with the straight BM here, nicknaming his Nidoran Mankey. Ooh, are people checking their special? Have people been Let's make sure nobody gets low special here. I haven't actually watched for this. The BM. He's thinking he's gonna lose 2 minutes to that over the course of the run. That's a really, really difficult play. Max Cash risking a critical hit from the Caterpie, but he gets rewarded and gets red bar for level 8. And he is through the first Caterpie fight. So at level 8, if they did not have 13 special, and instead had 11, that would be low special. They would have gotten overflowed too. Now, I believe he probably did not heal here, so he's still in red bar and he can run from this encounter. Yep, but he messed up the run a bit. Is anybody going to try to catch the early Pidgey? No, everybody's going for the consistent strat. Yep, 11 would show the low special. If you were looking at 7 instead of level 8, it would be 10 versus 12. So, Max Cash. No, he's still faster than Caterpie, and... Ooh, March getting slowed. Okay, you want to be faster after this Caterpie fight so that you're still faster on Metapod. Let's see if Max Cash can maintain the outspeed on Metapod and avoid... Oh, he got String Shot fail, so he's going to get a good Horn Attack hit in on Metapod, and he's going to have a great fight here. March getting the turn 1 harden for Metapod. He's gonna need a little bit of good luck here for now to make that up. What are you talking about, Retro? This is the best graphic setting. Max Cash already resetting for his flyer minute, and Fell Meme taking up the rear here with some bad encounter luck to start off his forest. March starting, excuse me, his forest minute. I'm trying to caffeinate here. Exactly, Retro Tato, exactly. So, it looks like Araya has gotten, yes, very good Metapod luck. And Max Cash getting a breakout on the flyer. Is he going to switch to Horn Attacking? No, he's throwing another ball first. That's ballsy. Missing 2 balls. He's going to have to switch to Horn Attacking here. Yep, smart play. March, is he going to get the YOLO ball? And March gets the YOLO ball, passing Max Cash. Araya also getting a catch, but he went straight to attacking, so he went for the consistent strat. March nicknaming his flyer Mankey. Not gonna lose him too much time there because the name of Pidgey does not matter, but that will cost him a few seconds, keeping him even with Max Cash. What happened to Araya? He reset again. Did he die? Something happened to Araya. I am very confused now. Araya reset and got the potion. Okay, so Araya's through the last bug catcher. March in the lead now. But going to the center, is March doing pewter center strats? I am very confused. Max Cash has healed for... Well, yes, you would deposit Pikachu whichever center you use, but I don't know why you would use the pewter center. Araya is now on Lightyear Guy, as is Max Cash. Max Cash doing the Leer plus Horn Attack strat to kill it in one shot. Alright. Felmeme also risking a tackle miss and a critical from Caterpie, but he's through in red bar. Saving a little bit of time. Is he going to make it out of the forest at 15? 15 forest from Felmeme. Okay. Max Cash healing. And Araya not healing.
Alright, everyone. My name's Pseudo Trainer. I'm doing a lot of the restream stuff. I also run Pokemon Yellow, and I'm jumping in here to help T.I. Kevin. There's a lot going on with four runners. He's been doing a great job, and I finished all my setup stuff, and I want to talk about one of my favorite games, so...
Awesome. Yeah, this has been an extremely crazy race so far. Do you know why Araya reset in the forest?
Did he get IGT'd for some reason and didn't want to resave, and he just decided to take the PC potion because he started moving before he resaved or something? I don't know. It seemed really weird. I missed it too. I saw you comment on it.
Yeah. So Max Cash and Araya have also both forgotten to swap Leer.
Ooh.
So their Leer is in a strange place here. That could mess them up on Onyx. But no, they're correct. Max Cash corrected his moves now. Araya, I believe, is just finishing the fight out with the current moveset.
Yeah, it's not as bad when you swap it. On the next fight, you're going to want to lead Horn Attack, which is normally slot 1. So if Araya doesn't remember this in the next 1 minute, he's going to kind of already mess up the next fight and lose about a turn on it. So... Yeah. Move ordering in RPGs like this is very important because it's just becomes such muscle memory that if one thing's off, you're likely to lose or even die because you're just so used to it that even though your brain's trying to tell you that Leer's in slot 1, your muscles might just do the exact opposite of what you think they're gonna do.
You know what? It's possible Araya caught a flyer before doing a forced manip, and then did forced manip for no encounters. That's probably what happened.
Oh, probably.
He probably reset for forced manip to no encounters after getting one without getting a flyer without doing flyer manip.
Makes sense. Kind of.
I am interested also with March's Pewter Center. March was in really, really good shape in this race, and then he took Pewter Center for I don't know why.
Really? Because that's going to put him in an awkward PP solution. So he can either try to do something really odd with his PP management, like fighting the top last here, and then not do Moon Manip, which is coming up. or he's just gonna double center. I'm unsure if that was the right call. Maybe he thought it was extra safety, but really, as long as you're playing safe, Brock is not that bad. The trainer before him is where a lot of people die, but it's very hard to die to that if you're playing 100% safe. So, really interesting call.
Yeah, and you can just pick up extra potions for the safety instead of taking a center. I would say the extra potions are actually even more useful for safety then.
Would you say that if a runner picks up the PC potion when they drop off Pikachu, they would be next level by chance?
Potentially. Now, here's the deal. March just went for a tackle range that you cannot get on the last Caterpie there. You have to get a horn attack range in order for that to work. Tackling.
Or it has to Leer turn 1, correct? That's also another one.
If you're slowed. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, not Leer, String Shot. Yeah. I know Pokemon, guys. I promise.
Fun fact, you can actually one-shot double kick that a rat if you critical hit it and get a 139. I've never seen that in a real run. But Araya now onto the bottom bug catcher fight. We call it bottom bug catcher because we used to fight the last, and so now instead of fighting the last and doubling back past last to get further down Route 3, we fight this trainer. Our horn attack count is much easier to manage with the 15 attack perfect Panaran.
And Felmeme, T.I. Kevin already coming in it, but the nickname of Mankey is a shout out to Juan Lee Ways, who also runs and is in chat, and he basically told them if they all did it, he'd do something special for them all. Turns out only one of them followed through. Who knows, maybe there was some under the table deals and they were all wanted to point and laugh at Felmeme, but regardless, this is going to be interesting because that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, March did get the shout out with his flyer, which is not nearly
nice.
Yeah, okay. So Araya's comment is confirming my thought now. He got the flyer without a manip, and then Dave did no encounter manip, which allowed him also to get the potion in front of the third bug catcher. So he is in extreme safety land. He bought 6 potions, got the tree potion in Verdian City, and got the potion, probably both potions in the forest if he's getting the second one.
Yeah, I really like all the safety strats, especially Araya's been showing through the whole thing. A lot of them might be to the extreme, but especially with how experienced Araya is, he's been running yellow the longest out of our 4 runners here, so he knows that when things go bad, sometimes taking the extra time early on could save you minutes potentially later on.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like anybody here is going to get a 22-minute Mount Moon entrance. But we have some 23s on the table. Araya is definitely going to have a 23 here, and Max Cash probably could too. Max Cash and March probably could.
And in a marathon setting and a run, that's really all you can ask for is somewhere around a 23. So the fact that we have 3 runners teetering around that just shows the kind of level all these runners are on and the consistency they can do in this mid-game. And then pretty soon here we're going to be entering the kind of mid-game where it's going to be really important for the runners to be on top of every tiny thing, because when you're doing attempts of this run, I always kind of say that runners get to this part of the run frequently, but the further you get into the run, the less and less you've actually done that part of the run because the run dies. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see who's the most practiced at the late game.
Yeah. So March doing his reset already. So I think March was able to skip the center before Mount Moon, and that's what his plan is here.
And right now, they're doing the last piece of RNG manipulation in the run. They are going to get through, if everything goes right, Mount Moon with 0 encounters. And Araya, you can see, and March also, have gotten substantially far in Mount Moon. Ooh, March with the reset. But as you can see, they're getting very far in Mount Moon without any encounters. The encounter rate here is actually quite high for this portion of the game, so this no encounter manip saves a lot of time. And if a runner like Araya here can complete this manip without any encounters, they might just snatch the early game lead and hold it for a lot of the run. That's how much time this manip can save.
Yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen with Araya here. I think he's going to make this... If you can get to the 3rd floor without an encounter, you usually are in good shape. Max Cash has failed the manip twice now. March appears to be in good shape with his 2nd attempt, but Araya has just pulled out like a few minutes late. So, this manip, like Suda was saying, there's a lot of encounters you get. It's not so much the base encounter rate, but something more the number of tiles you walk through in Mount Moon. Causes you to get, on average, 10 to 11 encounters in a normal setting, but through this manip we can save all but effectively about 2 encounters worth of time, because the save and quit takes about 2 encounters worth of time. So you save 8 to 9 encounters, which is worth about a minute and a half.
March got very far. He got to the 3rd floor. As T.I. Kevin said before, that is not as punishing. The 3rd floor is kind of where it's kind of, to a lot of runners' preferences, the easiest part of the minute. But losing it there, you still have saved yourself probably 3-4 encounters on average. So still saving time if you would have gotten this first try.
Yeah, this is just where Araya is going to really, though, with his ability to execute the minute first try. He's going to get a pretty big lead here. March and Max Cash both failing even on repeated attempts is going to put the buy in a few minutes. But it looks like March and Max Cash will continue to have a good amount of competition. And, of course, dying to Misty can be the equalizer, even in a glitchless category where Misty is much easier than it used to be. Misty is still very dangerous.
Now, Travis, I have to ask, would you ever have the guts in a race, let alone a marathon, have the guts to not save for Misty, knowing that you have the center right there if you do die?
Yeah, there's actually like pretty decent strats to not save for Misty. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but the main thing with it is if you center before doing Misty, and when you die you go back to the center, and you can usually fix the what am I saying? The money pretty well just by getting the underground nugget where you get the elixir usually. You just go up a little bit into the left and you get a nugget as well. And then buying fewer supers. If you do both of those things, you will be fine. Also, if I die to Misty, I would typically suggest doing the gentleman strat, so you can fix some of your money that way too.
And for those that don't know, in Pokemon, if you die or you black out from losing all your available to fight Pokemon, you lose half your money. So this is very punishing, let's say, if this was an hour into the run, but the earlier you are, the less money we have, the less punishing it is. And even though it seems like we could die a lot, and that might be a problem, in Pokemon, most of the time, we'd rather save. A lot of the scary fights are in E4, so really the only fight I can think of where you would take the money problem is here, or potentially in, like, Pokemon Tower, where some runners want to have Red Bar because there's a free heal in that tower anyways, and they can kind of risk it up to that free heal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Araya finishing Moon between a minute and 2 minutes behind where you want to be for a world record attempt. Usually world record attempts will get there right around or exit right around the 27-minute mark. So Araya is really only his safety strats behind a world record pace run.
And Nidoking, to people who know about Gen 1 Pokemon speedrunning, is kind of self-explained, but Nidoking, the reason why we use it is there's just a lot about it that makes it very good. Particularly, you're seeing why it's really good right around now on all these runners that already have Nidoking. It's that, oh, I just realized Felmeme is a Nidorino.
Oh, he forgot to evolve before the fights in the moon. In
Yeah.
TAS, he's doing TAS strats. In TAS, you intentionally do not evolve until after these fights to keep red bar. Because you gain HP by evolving.
So fortunately, that won't affect him anything at all. The XP of the Pokemon is independent of the evolution here, because it's not level-based. He just lost time on that fight. But the reason why we use Nidoking up till this portion of the run is you can tell that we have a tier 3 evolution Pokemon this early. We're fighting things like Pidgeys, and we're going to use a tier 3 evolution of Nidoking. Is going to make this portion of the run trivial, and pretty soon here on the moon, they're going to be learning Nidoking's one and only level up move, and that's going to be Thrash. And we'll talk about Thrash when it comes up, but those are two things to look out for here on this bridge.
Yeah, Araya had a really, really good rival fight. He got the one-turn EV, and he got through Sandshrew without any complications with Sand Attack. So that was solid bridge from Araya then, probably. There's some stuff that could go wrong still, but he's through the really difficult bit. Need to get IT to make bridge more exciting. Chill said something else. Oh, okay, Chill. Race world record is a 157 from Snorms. He basically got a PB in a race attempt because everybody else had lost already and had to quit the race. Yeah, one thing I like to tell about Snorms and racing is, though, I happen to have 9 race wins in yellow, which is the most of anyone, but that was over 2 years. Snorms got 6 yellow race wins in 2 months.
Snorms in the Pokemon community is probably one of the most consistent runners you'll see across quite a few handfuls of games too, and just a shout out to him also, and not just like the standard stock games. Some runners also dabble in things like randomizers and bingos and whatnot, and Snorms is actually kind of a legend over there too. He's carries over the same skills of speedrunning in that, and he has won a lot of bingos.
Yeah, I think it's actually the bingo experience and his skills there help him in the reverse too with his runs in RTA. Now, Felmeme starting his bridge soon. He's got the rare candy before the bridge. Max Cash has gotten through the rival fight, and March has gotten the rival fight. March is actually a whole fight ahead of Max Cash now. Araya now leveling to 23. We use those rare candies specifically here on the bridge, so that we will get to level 34 just after a Machoke in Sylph, and at the same time get level 23 early here so we have Thrash and can start to basically Shrek the entire game.
Now, Pokemon is interesting for routing for the experience points in kind of 2 ways. we have this item, Rare Candy, that will just move you to the next level. So that's the first period where routing for experience is very beneficial because you want to be at the correct level when you want to, and you want to use this Rare Candy for its full value, getting a bunch of experience out of it. But also, one thing we're going to have to look out for, which might wind up mattering in this race, is if you get too much experience, this is really unique with Gen 1 Pokemon speedrunning, you'll actually hurt yourself in the end, because you could level up at the wrong time. And we'll talk about that later if that ever comes into play, but runners have to be very conscious of if they hit an optional trainer, or if they've messed up their experience curve somehow, how they can fix it.
Yeah, basically the way that the badge boosts work in Gen 1, they give you a 9/8 boost to the whatever badge. So Brock gives you attack, Surge gives you defense, Wall to bug, Koga gives you speed, and Blaine gives you special. So you have these 9/8 boosts, but whenever your stats get changed, like if you get hit with a spring shot, a bug causes the 9/8 boosts to be reapplied. So if you have string shot from a Caterpie, you will get another 9/8 boost to your attack at this point right now, and deal even more damage. In the late game, this is useful because you could use X items to give yourself 9/8 boosts intentionally to your other stats. So like, you can use an X special to give a 9/8 speed boost while also increasing your special. The bridge is boring, Gale Amblin. Are you seeing this? You're destroying it right crap. This is literally like the same as the task strat. The task doesn't do anything different.
Exactly.
You just use Thrash.
This portion of the run is probably the one where we can talk about minor things about the run probably the best, because really what they're going to be doing is just using Thrash or Horn Attack if they're not level 23 yet in order to kill a lot of things. Araya picked up the second to last Pokemon he's going to need. We're actually only going to need 4 Pokemon in our party heading into the E4. And he picked up a Charmander, and that Charmander is taken for 2 reasons. We need a Pokemon that can cut in order to progress the story, and a Pokemon that can learn Dig, so we can teleport back to the last Pokemon Center we've been to.
Yep, and the Charmander specifically is important because it is faster to get Charmander than it is to even encounter a Pokemon. So there's no question that Charmander is the correct play for glitchless runs. Yeah, one of the lore fails in this game definitely has to be that Nidoking cannot learn Dig. So we have to continue using Thrash and Thunderbolt and Bubble Beam for a lot of things where you would expect to be able to use Dig.
Maybe that's why Felmeme named the Nidoking Mankey. He wants to teach it Dig, because for some reason Mankey and Primate can learn Dig, but a giant ground-type Pokemon is Nidoking can't.
Wartype, basically the only relevance for it is that you would, by getting it to Nidoking, you'd be able to, what am I saying? You'd be able to kill the Ghastlies without having to do either Thunderbolt, the Ghastly strats, or Rock Slide strats.
And
so
you
Rock Slide skip wouldn't be a problem.
And you could potentially make Surge safer. Not really faster, because you can still two-shot it, but you would be able to at least dodge some of the damage that can happen in Surge, which is actually not faster some of the time, because you actually want damage.
Yeah, it would just be a much more consistent Surge fight.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make that much difference, actually. It loses you maybe 10 to 20 because you have to do a different hiker fight to keep your experience perfect for Sylph.
We should probably remind Felmeme that he's on vape strats.
We should. Vape Nation. We have. All right. We have Araya coming up on Misty. He is going through the cutscene now. Now, this Bill cutscene is interesting. There's a little difference between Pokemon Yellow and Red here, where in Yellow, there's a script to move you and talk to Bill again after he transforms back into Bill. But in Red, there is not a script to do that. So you have to remember to walk in Red where you don't in Yellow.
I stood there for a good, 3 seconds the first time I ran Red, wondering what's happening.
It's really confusing. You wouldn't think them to fix that. There's so many other things they need to fix. But, nope, we got to add a script to Bill's cutscene.
The other really interesting thing they fixed is, we'll get to it way later on in the run, but one of the gyms has, quizzes. And in Pokemon Red, it explains the quiz to you each time, giving you 6 extra text boxes. And in Yellow, they remove those extra text boxes, explaining it each time, and only appears on the first. Which is really interesting because, like T.I. Kevin said, there's a lot of things they should have fixed before that. So I wonder how many people complained about that in order for that to take priority.
Yeah. Max Cash looks like he might be struggling a bit here. His walk cycle to get to that trainer was very strange. And then he didn't buffer talking to this trainer. I think Max Cash is getting some nerves. He might lose some time continuing to march in Araya here.
One thing experienced racers have also kind of learned is that keeping calm in a race is the most important thing, other than not making a minor mistake and just luck in general, because you're just very likely to kind of lose your train of thought or make a fatal error in Pokemon that would be really hard to work around if you're not fully paying attention. So making a mistake is going to be really important for them to come back from and just let it go. Something like even movement can throw a runner off for the remainder of the run, potentially.
Hi, String Flow! Yeah, I'm sure they got a lot of mail about these random, actual snail mail. Felmy making up a little bit of time here being in Red Bar. The Bridge Red Bar is difficult to get because usually you don't take much damage, but when it happens, it's very fast. Now, I believe March just skipped Cerulean Center. He is going to Center after Misty. And he's going to Potion for Misty instead. This is an interesting play. Not too different, but it works.
It kind of makes sense if you want to make sure, because a lot of people want to save for Misty anyway, so it makes sense. Where this is going to become a problem is if he has a really bad Misty fight. If he has a fine Misty fight, this is going to make very little difference to what he would do before. But if he has a bad Misty fight, he's going to have to buy super potions early, and that can be a very easy thing to forget.
Yeah. So March also definitely made a execution mistake here. He menued for that save before the trainer, before Misty. So if he dies and wants to reset with his save, he will have to do 2 battles instead of 1. Araya got through Misty fine, so he is continuing to hold a very large lead here.
After we get going in this run, the fights that are going to be troublesome are going to be key story fights or gym leaders. Pretty soon here, we're going to kind of reach this point where we can kind of avoid a lot of trainers, and we're going to only be fighting mandatory. And so Misty's this first piece that they need to get past, and the next one is going to be Surge if they're very unlucky.
Max Cash getting supersonicked by Goldeen and hitting himself in confusion. That's dangerous.
12.5%! Woo! Oh, he snapped
hurt.
out.
He should probably potion here to avoid dying to a bubble critical.
You want to be at 68 for a Bubble Beam critical, if I remember correctly.
He didn't potion. Oh, this is dangerous.
Ooh.
I am scared on behalf of Max Cash. March centering after Misty, so he's going to have a very safe surge. He might even do Gentleman strats if he's doing this. It'll be interesting to see. Araya not getting any encounters also on the way back to Vermilion, so he is in great shape for the surge split. Hope he does Kevin cans.
Gunner cans forever.
Oh no! Max Cash has a cursor on his emulator. Oh no!
Oh wait, nope, that was mine. Whoops. So only T.I. Kevin was seeing that, right? Nah. I triggered everyone. You're welcome.
Okay, Max Cash got through Misty, despite not being full health. Foul Meme's coming up on the Misty stretch. So he is actually probably good 5 or 6 minutes behind Araya now. March and Max Cash probably 2 and 3 minutes behind, respectively. If Araya goes ice beam, I'm Hey, it's a great safety strat. Gentleman ice beam, as I call it.
If any of the runners would for some reason go Ice Beam, we're actually going to know pretty soon here, because the best strat, as T.I. Kevin was alluding to, was fighting Gentleman first. And that's one of the things that's great about RPG speedrunning that maybe not a lot of people know. You have to factor in things from an hour ago sometimes when you're playing this game.
Yeah.
So they're going to fight one trainer now, and then 40 minutes later get a different move.
I don't agree with Araya's menuing here. He got that paralyzed heal for it would still have use here on the what's it called?
Like the Oddish fight. Yeah.
Yeah. He's selling his paralyzed heal before the Oddish fight. That would indicate to me that he was doing Gentleman strats.
Ooh. Because he'd need room then. We'll have to see. Because
he wouldn't necessarily need room, but it's just like he wouldn't have the issue of being paralyzed. Strats.
Oh, I see. Makes a lot of sense.
But he might not be.
Because what Araya could have done if he's not going to do Gentleman, we'll find out here very soon, but what he would do is he would get rid of all potions and Pokeballs, because you only need to keep one of them, and then he would keep the Paralyzed Heal, as it's the most useful item in the worst case scenario for him.
It makes sense too that he's not doing the Gentleman Trainer right now, because if you do it, you want to after this fight, because you want HM1 above the HM1 cut above the rare candy you get. Makes the menu a little bit simpler. Otherwise, you have to scroll past the rare candy to use cut and then go back to it. Pseudo, how much do you think I'm going to cry if nobody does the Gentleman?
I'm gonna say you're not gonna cry now, but you're gonna cry yourself to sleep tonight over it, because you really badly want to talk about the route differences, because it's really cool.
It is. It is cool.
So you're seeing Araya try to do proper menuing.
Trying to swap his moves, yeah, and then he accidentally used Ball Beam after trying to swap his moves.
So one interesting thing between this run and actually the current red run is yellow swaps moves around a lot, whereas red, correct me if I'm wrong, the most optimal strat actually never swaps a single move. So if runners run both like Araya here, Felmine forgetting where the full restore is, it looks like, and he got it.
Hey!
So if runners run both, that can be kind of confusing, because they don't generally have to swap a move there, but Araya has to remember that, because otherwise his muscle memory for yellow could kind of hurt him later.
1, 2. Oh, he's skipping Gentleman!
Ooh.
Okay, I'm definitely out on selling the Paralyzed Heal. Kept the Paralyzed Heal.
You were trying so hard to support him in his decision to sell it. But no. So, what if Araya would have gone into that room he just passed, he would have fought an additional trainer and gotten a rare candy, and he would have been basically a high enough level that we would be faster than Surge, which makes the fight very safe because we can basically two-shot him with Thrash then, whereas even if we're lower level, it's not guaranteed to die in 3 Thrash attacks. So it's just a generally safer strat, but it takes a decent amount of time. And other benefits are in the next split right after beating Surge, you have better damage, and there's some missing ranges, and fights are safer overall.
Max Cash's menuing here, I'm not a fan of. He could be waiting to do those swaps so it's more optimal when he's teaching cut. But yeah, I think everybody here is making good progress towards Surge.
I don't think we mentioned it yet, but as Max Cash is entering this fight, ooh, Araya getting really lucky. Yeah. Let's talk about got this.
Perfect Kevin, well, not perfect Kevin, almost perfect Kevin cans.
So the very first can he checked was had what, an 85%? I believe that one is, to be correct, or is that 82%?
I think that one's the 83.
Yeah, okay.
And the other one's 88. Yeah, so the cans in this game are completely glitched. Anything you would think about the cans is wrong. Okay? The second can is not necessarily next to the first can. And only like a certain grid of cans can even be the first can in the first place. So what ends up being the best way to do it is to check the middle cans first, because they have a very consistent second can. The top middle and bottom middle cans have a second can. It's about 7/8 of the time in the top left for the second can. All the other cans are correct that they have one next to them for the second can, but they also have this glitch where 2 of the cans that are out of the 3 that are next to them will have a key in them, or a switch. So the odds get all funky there too.
Overall, yellow isn't too much glitchier, I would say. It's just kind of laggier and seems slower. But this is something where the remake of yellow definitely shows as something went wrong in the remake, and these just don't function how you would think.
Yeah. So you check up the middle and then up the top and down, and then if you don't find any of the first cans there, then you check the bottom left can and the top left can. That way, if you get really screwed and the last can is the correct can, then you are close to Surge in the end. So you don't have to walk much further to get to Surge and fight it.
A tiny thing you might see is that March and Araya were talking to the same character at the same time. That doesn't mean March is caught up. It just actually doesn't matter when we talk to that NPC. We need it to get the bike, which is going to be excuse me, faster and the fastest way to kind of get to one of the gyms later. So some runners choose to do it before or after. It doesn't really matter. In red, though, it does, and you want to go there after you beat Surge because you can use an item, an escape rope or dig, in order to warp back to the center. But they fixed that in Pokemon Yellow. One of the random things they fixed.
Yes. Interestingly, it is technically faster in terms of real time, to go get the bike voucher after Surge, so that if you die to Surge, you can reset before getting that 30 seconds of the run.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that people kind of laugh about, because a lot of people go get it first, even though like there's really no reason to. You should probably do it after because you could die to Surge. But the current world record holder of Gunner Maniac has always done it that way, and one of the things we tell people is when you're learning the run, watch the world record holder, and as long as he's a world record holder, I guarantee you people are still gonna go there first.
Yeah. So March got that thing I was talking. So his last can was the top left can, but that was okay because that meant he was still pretty close to Surge and could go fight Surge quickly. But he got growled turn 1 from Raichu, though. That could be dangerous. We'll see if he crits through it. Double growl. He's really going to want to crit through now.
Ooh!
He crit through!
That's so lucky. So Nidoking's crit rate is 16.68%, if I remember exactly. But that crits will ignore status changes. Max cash for getting the cans. He's checking some cans that can't even be correct right now.
That is not optimal, but he found a can. Let's see if he gets the second can. He did. He is good now. All right. Also, we missed Araya getting through 4-turn Thrash with no complications.
4-turn Thrash fight is the fight you want to make sure that Thrash lasts 4 turns on.
Missing the Venonat range into Sonic and hitting.
Oh,
This is the rippest scenario you can have.
I betcha if he knew we were talking about Gentleman before, he would totally regret not getting Gentleman now.
Yes.
Because Gentleman Candy would have guaranteed that range. That is such a low chance to happen because it's a very good range. You have to get 3-turn Thrash, and you have to Supersonic hit yourself. It's a low chance, but it can definitely happen.
Araya doing some great execution here with his repel menus. These are, there's some really precise menuing you can do to use repels quickly, and I think Araya's first one went off without a hitch, so that's cool. If you press start and then press down to go to your item menu, then you can press A and switch to holding B at the same time to, use repel, and then you can press B again to close the item bag and press start to close the entire menu. So you can buffer a whole bunch of the inputs in a row, and it's quite satisfying.
For a JRPG speedrun game, this is a game that actually has a lot of good menuing. For how old it is, you would think that it might not be super fun to menu through all these things, but because of buffering and things called like reapplies, and that's part of buffering, you can just do all these things that T.I. Kevin's talking about to go faster. So something even like Pokemon that wouldn't seem execution heavy at very high levels can save you a ton of time.
Yeah. Lots of little things end up happening. It looks like March had to swap out on the Bellsprout and is now getting wrapped to death. His Mankey died. Ooh, sorry, Juan. But he should be okay now.
I really like that play of swapping out here, though. If you don't get 4-turn Thrash, you have a 50% chance to hit yourself, which can just be a very ugly fight. So the safest play you can make if you don't get 4-turn Thrash is just swap out and sack one of your Pokemon, so you can 100% hit the next Thrash or Horn attack.
One thing to note, Max Cash just biked in front of a trainer. If you walk in front of a trainer, it gets an exclamation point in this game. It can be kind of hard to get this perfect every fight with the biking movement, but usually you want to talk to trainers when possible, because the extra 1 or 2 steps involved, or usually 2 steps, it takes about half a second, but the exclamation point takes a full second. So on most trainer battles, you can save yourself at least half a second by talking to them instead of walking in front of them.
You can see here that March is going around this trainer. He could have just gone straight up into the exclamation point, but the optimal play there is to quick swerve into the trainer and talk to them right away.
Yep, March having some suboptimal biking movement there. Biking movement is really difficult in this game. Not that difficult, but it can be a little difficult.
And we've been
for March too.
And we haven't really been talking about where they are, but they're in Rock Tunnel, and you'll notice that you can't really see where they are right now. For a lot of people who don't know too much about this run, one of the things they ask a lot is, how do you do that? How do you do this consistently? It's actually really easy in Gen 1 to bike through this without Flash. I'm sure a lot of kids did it when they were younger because they didn't know how to find Flash.
Yeah.
Because in Gen 1, the walls are always visible, and you can just kind of see where you are to get through it. and you're always in the center of the screen, so you can kind of just judge by your surroundings. But actually in Pokemon Red, you can swap the palette, the color behind it, and there's a palette that if you swap to, you can actually see perfectly fine. You can see all the trainers, everything. So I will fully admit that as a kid, when I first played Pokemon Red, I used the cheater palette. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah, there's some other interesting stuff you can do as well. You can change a lot of the characteristics of brightness in yellow even to see things better, but that's kind of frowned upon. I think it's actually banned in some senses to change the colors to make yellow look better, because on console you can't do that. Now, what do we got going on from here?
So
March. Oh, missing the very rare Bulbasaur range.
Luckily got 4-turn Thrash, so it wasn't a super punishing missed range there. That's another Pokemon that would be a guaranteed range if any of the runners would have gone for Gentleman strats.
Araya getting top elixir. That allows you to save a turn frame, which is basically a little artifact of the delay the first time you turn in a room in that second gatehouse. You don't have to turn if you approach the last ladder from the top.
And turn frames are half as long on bike, correct me if I'm wrong. So that saved him a full 2 frames versus a normal turn.
Yes. The old 2 frames. And it's very difficult to learn that movement, so yeah.
So Raya here is starting off something very iconic to Pokemon speedruns. Almost all the glitchless runs you'll see of any game will have a big shopping trip at some point. So, and we're going to be buying a lot of X items. So X items are probably the most overlooked item from a casual player's perspective in just when completing the run, but are very helpful in speedruns. So we're going to be buying these items because they just boost our stats, and we can route in all these items to make the fights very consistent. And in a Pokemon speedrun, that's very important to have consistency. Now, along with that, as we talked about before, those badge boost effects of gaining 9 ace to a stat is very important in Gen 1 because we can give them to ourselves with these X items. And ooh, unfortunately, Fell Meme also having a really really bad Oddish fight.
Yes. He's through it now, though.
So, the 2 TMs that Araya has picked up in this tower, one was Rock Slide. He got it from giving a Soda Pop to, I believe Soda Pop, yeah, to a little girl that was thirsty. And he also bought TM07, and that one is going to be Horn Drill. And Araya, in a moment here, is going to be teaching those moves to Nidoking. And this brings us to kind of one of the final reasons why Nidoking is very good. Horn Drill is broken in Gen 1, and you're going to see a lot of that.
Ooh, Araya neglecting to go for the 10-frame save, biking the Fly House. That's a hard one to get, though.
You basically have to buffer everything perfectly. You can get it very consistently because Yellow's lag is predictable. The more you play it, you can just get used to the lag. But yeah, 10 frames. He chose to save 2 frames before, but he's throwing away 10 frames now. I don't know what he's doing, man.
But yeah, Araya also electing for the safer play with Rock Slide here. So he'll still have a little bit of risk that he could miss a Rock Slide on one of the Ghastlies, but that's a lot less risky than going for the Thunderbolt critical hits or avoiding Lick Paralysis or Confused Ray Confusion.
Biking is faster in Yellow String Flow. It wasn't apparent. Tia Kevin, you know more than I would, but
Yeah, I found that in TAS. It's 10 frames faster in yellow, and it's not faster in red. It's a audio thing. Yellow has weird stuff happening with audio delay. One of the effects is that biking is a bit faster the instant you leave a door because the audio jingles involved in opening menus and getting on the bike are overridden by the transition between rooms, whereas that doesn't happen the same way in red. Max died in the... What happened? Did he Gen 1 miss Ball Beam into self-destruct?
This is a very unlikely fight to die in, so unless a wrong move was used, you almost have to Gen 1 miss. So that will bring us to Gen 1 missing. So in Gen 1 Pokemon, a number is rolled between 0 and 255. And this game is using that number to decide if an attack should hit or not, depending on its accuracy. There's a bug in the code for certainty that if it's trying to roll this number, let's say you roll the highest number of 255 out of 255. Well, that means you should hit. Well, because of the bug in the code, it actually doesn't return true, it returns false, which means that you miss a 100% accurate move. And that can be really fatal at times, as we see here. We are not at... I'm trying to think really quick of anything that can help Max.
Yeah, he needs to at least get the under... Everything you can fix with this. It looks like he didn't actually get a Gen 1 miss, he just thrashed the Geodude, but same effect, basically.
Yeah.
That mistake causing him to be exposed to self-destruct and die.
Shoutouts to Exarion, though. Really amazing runner of this game, and he was on world record pace on a yellow one once, and he was just talking about how the worst thing that could happen is Gen 1 miss into Explosion, and it happened at that very fight.
Yeah, I can see Max Cash with the getting affected with the nerf still with biking too. So it looks like it's all up to whether Araya has a clean E4 and Giovanni fight. The mid game in yellow it's not boring per se because a lot of the way to a lot of the routing decisions are very complex. A lot of like the reasoning behind what you do in the mid game is quite complex, but the effect of all those decisions makes the game very safe. So in the end, nothing really is going to be dangerous for Araya until the last gym battle against Giovanni 2. Ooh, Felmine forgetting where he is in the mart, getting lost in the mart. But he's recovered, he's found TM7. Ooh. Yeah, Max definitely getting a little bit shaken by the nerves here. Hopefully he can recover.
Oh, I see here. Ooh, going down. Okay, cool. Max Cash found the trainer again. It can be really hard to... It's very punishing if you make a movement mistake in Rock Tunnel, because there's actually a lot of trainers, like they kind of did this intentionally, where if you don't know where you are, you can easily hit an optional that can lose a lot of time.
Yeah, Max Cash will probably need to double Mart here on top of getting the Nugget. That's what I would do with Max Cash. Just go back to the Mart quickly after one of the times you return to Celadon. Yeah, we should explain actually how glitchless works here. So, in Gen 1, there are a lot of glitches. There are so many glitches. So many glitches, in fact, Oh, max cash hitting, another optional, sadly. But, yes. Gen 1 having so many glitches that we can't avoid all of them. So what we do instead with the definition of glitch for Gen 1 is we say, okay, anything that would open up the game to arbitrary code execution, no, can't do that. Anything that would open up to using a piece of RAM for two different things where it's not intended to be used that way is out. So here's a great example. Brock through walls. If you do Brock through walls glitch, you will be able to do whatever you want, go to the Hall of Fame, you're basically using a bunch of code as a walk path that's not intended to be a walk path. Okay? You're using the walk path if you are to the right of the guy who leads you back to Brock's gym as code instead of as a walk path. So that's bad. That's banned. On the other hand, badge boosts. Badge boosts don't let you get arbitrary code execution, and you can't avoid them at all. So we allow badge boosts. Now, the important one to know here is Polka Doll on the Marowak and Lavender Tower. If you use a Polka Doll on an encounter, you will run away from the encounter, but have it marked as a win, as opposed to a loss. So what you can do is use a Polka Doll on the ghost in Lavender Tower, run away from it, get it marked as a win, and be able to progress through the story despite not having gone to the game corner at all. And we are totally okay with this from a glitch perspective because you don't get opened up to arbitrary code execution, you don't abuse RAM for the same things, you're just using the intentional flag, setting it to a win. And the same logic applies with instant text in Red, where it's simply the developer's fault that they didn't program a flag for how fast your text moves properly in this one bar. You can't use it to get arbitrary code execution, and there's absolutely no explanation as to why that one mart does that. So it's very strange. But allowed. That makes sense, Pseudo Trader?
It makes complete sense. It's as clear as mud, and
Exactly.
which is why these questions are asked a lot still within people in the communities sometimes when they're learning it, because it's something that we kind of wish we didn't have to do, have these kind of self-defined rules of what a glitch are, but it really is needed in a game like this, because the memeiest of meme runs I can think of for this game is True Glitchless, where you would save the game constantly, and if you ever accidentally do a glitch such as Gen 1 missing or badge boosting, which is out of your control if your opponent uses a status move on you, you would have to reset and redo the fight. So we need these arbitrary rules in place, basically for our own good, but it does make it unclear.
Yes. Clear as mud is a great way of putting it. Now, Araya here, level 33 for an Arbok. Oh yeah, it's not after the Machoke, it's after the Arbok, 34, that you can candy twice to 36. And that allows you to outspeed the self-rival Kadabra without using an X speed. Exactly, BBC.
I know a few runners have memingly attempted True Glitchless and basically seen how long it takes them to go up the wall and crazy with it, and it's a sight to see, because it happens way more than you think. Basically, every status moved after Brock would be a reset.
Yeah. And you can't even define audio glitch in that, or you wouldn't be able to play the game at all. Because basically everything that has to do with audio in this game is a glitch.
We will never have True Glitchless then, will we? Hey, I know a way around it. Let's just turn the speaker off.
Oh yeah, that actually disables audio code.
Yeah. So it is possible. We're
Has anybody
memeing.
ever actually tried that to like see if the game runs faster if you turn off audio? That'd be really stupid though.
Yeah, I don't think we'd want to know that because of all the possible conflicting things with having no audio be faster.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think that's actually how it works. I think the game has to turn off for it to save time.
yeah, and another consequence of that would also be no X items for the entire run. Anyways, back to our regular scheduled race.
Yeah, Araya is getting his outspeed.
This fight that we're finishing here on Araya's screen of the rival fight in Silphco is one of the major changes from this route, which is called low XP route, to what it was before, which is now referred to as high XP route. This was work done by T.I. Kevin, actually. So he kind of rerouted the game to have a different candying strategy, and one of the great things about this route is this fight used to be really annoying because you would have Sandslash attack you twice, but because of the extra carbos we use and the rare candies, we're able to get through this fight with only 1 X accuracy.
Mm-hmm. And now Araya's got the Sylph, Jesse, and James fight, which is a breeze with Earthquake.
What is Felmeme's not Charmander, but bird name?
I'd have to look at it again.
We'll have to pay attention next time because it is definitely not Pidgey.
Yeah, we'll get to talk about great Kevin routes again in the Go run. Explain some of the different route choices you have in Let's Go. And we'll get to see how their routing works compared to what I would do.
Let's Go is going to be the next race after. We've kind of purposely put the yellow race followed by the Let's Go remake of that game back to back. So shout outs to Benji for putting up a wonderful schedule so we can highlight things like this.
Yeah, so we should also be able to explain a lot of the differences between the old game and the new game. Max Cash electing to do the drillless rival fight. I believe that works pretty well. I routed this at one point to see if you could use Horn Drill or learn Horn Drill later, but it's actually terrible. Don't do this.
There's a lot that can go wrong in this fight, and it's just not faster.
Yeah, it's like about equivalent speed to do this. If you have all the right for it, you would need to double kick B, but it ends up being slower to delay the Horn Drill teach to its own menu.
One thing that's been looked at multiple times in Yellow 2 has been something called EQ-less. So we're going to see Felmeme here pick up TM26 in a moment. And that's Excuse me. And that's Earthquake, which is a very powerful move for our ground-type Pokemon here. And one thing that a lot of routers have tried to look at is basically rerouting this game so to not have Earthquake or even potentially just delay it, because in Yellow here we fight this trainer. This is the last optional they fight in the entire run, the trainer that Felmeme is about to pass here. We don't have to fight this trainer. We fight him because he's guarding 3 amazing items in Earthquake, a Carbos, and a rare candy.
Yeah, they're items that are so like the Earthquake TM is so useful. It is faster to go get it with this optional fight than it is to do the other, 4 battles and then go get it afterwards. Like, it's useful for literally all 4 of those battles. It's useful for Arbok, it's useful for Rival, it's useful for J&J, and it's useful for Giovanni. So, it ends up being useful to fight this optional just to gain all of that utility.
Yeah, if you hear crinkling in the background, that's actually not me. That's my fiance. I apologize if you're going to hear some things in the background.
You got the commentary fiance.
Ooh, yeah. Whoa, Max Cash just picked up TM18 counter. Is he trying to get some extra money? Oh, he needed the polka doll? Wait. I'm really confused on why.
It looks like he did not buy a polka doll earlier to attempt to get more items. This is unfortunate for Max Cash.
This kind of comes back to that thing I was saying quite a while ago, that this run is really optimized and really safe overall, as long as you play very safe and you're always conscious of what you're doing. One mistake, though, can kind of bring this this house of cards tumbling down, because so much of this route is dependent on money and experience that if one of these things go wrong, you have to know how to make it up later or the best way. So for example, a quick example I can think of is if you accidentally answer a question wrong in Blaine's gym, you have to dig out of Blaine's gym and go fight Erica first. If you don't, you're going to level up during the Blaine fight and actually die to him more likely than not if you've taken damage, because you lose this badge boost thing. So that's something runners have to be aware of, and it's going to be interesting to see what Max Cash does, because he is higher level than he's intended to be. A lot of that can be fixed with the rare candies coming up, but if he accidentally doubles candies, it can kind of bring everything crumbling down.
Fun fact, Araya is currently 21 minutes behind the task.
Your test cheats, man.
It does. Yep, so Araya is now Gym 3, and he is heading back to Sylph. Or not Sylph, Saffron, because he needs to fight Sabrina early. In this game, the trainers can be fought very, very out of order, or really the gyms, that is. It does not matter what order you fight gyms 4 through 7, period. So we simply, a lot of the way we've managed our experience and used those 2 candies inside Sylph has allowed us to fight Sabrina very, very early, especially because we have Horn Drill. So Sabrina has an Abra to start off, and that provides us free setup because the Abra only spams Flash.
I find it really interesting that in Yellow specifically, the gym that's supposed to counter our Pokemon most out of all these, because Psychic is effective against Poison, actually is the easiest gym for us, because she just happens to lead Abra, which can't attack us, and we can set up, become faster than the Alakazam, and one-shot every one of her Pokemon.
Yeah, if we couldn't, or if the order of Sabrina's Pokemon was reversed, or Alakazam was first, this would be a pain in the butt fight.
We would probably have to do similar routing to what Red does, where they actually fight Sabrina, I think, last before Giovanni, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you would do that. You do something like that, and it would be nasty and gross and painful. And you'd still have to use an X speed, so you'd probably like X speed and Earthquake stuff.
Shout out to Felmeme really catching up to March here, even with the Mankey name of the Nidoran.
Felmeme has settled into a groove, kind of the opposite of Max Cash's run, which has settled out of a groove. Araya going for the bike. See, this is again, it is more efficient to bike to the Fly House than it is to bike to Koga's gym by 8 frames. But Araya opting to go for biking to Koga's gym for the potential 2-frame save.
Ooh. He's only after the 2 frames. 10 frames, no one cares. 2 frames,
goes for
though.
all the 2-frame strats, but not the 10-frame strat.
So another shout out to T.I. Kevin here. The other major change that happened with switching to low experience is this fight here that Araya is doing. So you'll see here that we have Thrash. Thrash was a good move before, but we've rarely used it now. It's not very helpful. But it's kept around for this one fight because we're the exact level we need to be. These 3 Pokemon he's thrashing are guaranteed to die. And that seems very minute, but what it does is it saves us 3 uses of Earthquake. And Earthquake is such an important move in this kind of gym leader kind of boss rush segment of the game we're doing that that just saves a lot of time, because that's just can save you an extra heal or PP management item. All this is due to that one simple XP routing difference.
Yep, and I don't think we've actually explained this yet, but there's a difference between Shake and moves in Gen 1. The Earthquake is a flash move, so it causes this flashing effect whenever you use it, which is about a second slower than the Shake animation you get. And the difference there is most of the Shake animation moves are moves that have a secondary effect, like the ability to cause paralysis or cause Beam Speedfall. Araya getting a little bit lucky here, not dying to that critical. He was at a very high HP value going into Hypno, so he is actually pretty safe still. But he's going to need to use a Super Potion, or actually he's using a Full Restore to go all the way back to 135 here and being safe, playing around criticals again, and saving for Koga, which I actually think is a very good plan, because you haven't saved it for a very long time by the time you get to Koga, usually, in Gen 1 runs. Yeah, so you...
Go for it.
You save about 3 seconds on that fight where you use Thrash instead of Earthquake because of the 3 Shake animations.
And one more thing about the whole Full Restore thing. That would have been done differently if Araya would have been paralyzed by the Oddish in Rock Tunnel, because he only has 2 Full Restores. So using your Full Restore there's generally fine, because he still has 1 more, but the important thing is it doesn't push it down in his menu. He's gonna get more later when we get to E4, when they're very helpful. If he would have ran out, though, it would have just cost him a lot of time kind of going through his menu to get them.
Araya got X attack on the second Pokemon from Koga, so that despite the special fall he got, he did not take much damage in the Koga fight overall.
Which is going to set him up to the point where if he wants to be a little risky, he can go through Blaine without healing, or he's basically at the perfect HP to when he's going to teach Surf and Strength here, he can just use 1 Super Potion.
March made a small mistake here, actually, walking, what's it called? The gatehouse before the Safari Zone. It's actually optimal to walk all the way up to to be seen by the guy, because he cancels your turn frame by turning you to see him, instead of you turning to walk up to him.
There's so many strange things with this game that is kind of optimal now because of tassing T.I. Kevin and people who've put a lot of time into this game. And a lot of them kind of don't amount to too much other than just free time save. But something like that people often forget because it's kind of so counterintuitive to what your thought would happen. Where like you want to talk to all the trainers instead of having them see you, and there it's the exact opposite. You want the NPC to see you so you can talk to him and get turned.
Yup. Yeah, Araya is using something called double inputting in the battle menu you just mentioned. Double inputs are basically an effect of the way that the controller is read from in the Game Boy. The Game Boy needs a way of determining that you pressed and, like actually just pressed a button at all. So it will read that you've started pressing a button, and then in order to log another press, you have to release it for at least a frame before pressing it again. So you would, for instance, if you want to press down twice, you would see down on one frame, no down on another frame, and then down again. But if you wanted to go down and right, you could simply go down on one frame and then right the next frame, because it would be different than holding down, which is what you'd see if you just do down, down. Okay? Now, the reason that double input is useful is because if you press down and then continue holding down for the second frame and add right, it logs that as continuing to hold down if you're unable to move the cursor right or left. So you can save micro frames around the game by using the right and left inputs to go down in menus. You can actually also use left and right to go up faster in menus. So like when you want to use TM7 in the fly menu, you can double input up to TM7 from HM2.
And this kind of double inputting or reapplying buttons can actually be done like over and over again, repeatable, but that's not really human viable. But something like a task, if you ever had to go through the menu very quickly, it would look much different than as if a human would do it, because you could just keep reapplying that and it would look like you're just instantly scrolling kind of to the bottom of your menu.
Yeah, and so Araya is instead opting just for very small menu uses. Like when you want to use X accuracy in slot 2, what you can do is basically just press the down button, add the right button, and you'll be on top of X accuracy, so you can just press A and use it. Instead of having to open the menu, press down, and then press A.
Unfortunately, Max Cash has forgotten how to get through the Safari Zone, and we have a limited number of steps here, so what's going to wind up happening there is you're going to get timed out. He's on the right way. Let's see if he can get to the end with the amount of steps he has.
It looks like he's found the exit, but he still doesn't know the optimal path for having his super repel. So I have no idea what's going on.
I think because of the wrong route he took, he didn't want to use another super repel, so he's just kind of choosing to avoid as much grass as he can. Or, wait.
He only has 49 steps left. He still had a super repel, too.
Weird, huh?
He might actually not make it. 31 steps left.
Okay.
Can he make it? He's got gold teeth.
Okay.
Oh, this is close.
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
no! He got timed out because of the extra steps there. Oh. What is happening? I've never seen this in a race run before, by the way.
Wait,
This
where's
has
he
never
going?
happened before.
Oh, is he getting the super repel?
No,
like-
yeah, he's probably improving his buy now because he needed to go back.
Makes sense.
I have literally never seen this before. This has never happened before.
So, back to Araya here, who's fighting not the 7th gym leader, the 6th. Everyone who thinks this is the 7th, you're wrong. You'll see here in a moment why. But this is actually one of the scarier fights now in this route. So, this route was changed kind of within the last half year to be a little bit more optimal, and just the final fight was kind of had some inherent risk to it, and they were able to reroute it to kind of push that risk out of the final fight in the route and push it into this fight right here. So the Arcanine at the end on the old route would be 100% range to die to Earthquake, but on this route it's only 80% if you don't get a badge boost. So especially with the health he has right now, if Arcanine doesn't die here, he's probably going to have to reset. He did save though, and we're good.
Yep. So Araya will likely have a very stretch of fights between Agatha and Lance and Champ compared to what you would do in a world record run, but at the same time, he is adding some risk in the Blaine fight. Ooh, Felmine got crit on the first turn of one of the fights. Let's see if he can continue to be okay here on the second Venonat.
Getting crit by these Venonats makes a fight that is generally pretty safe actually very scary. Ooh,
He is
Psychic.
okay here if he doesn't get critical.
Okay, good.
Okay. He got Special Fall, but that doesn't matter at this point. Be able
Yep.
to fight in red.
So, we're going to have to see if Felmine is going to go for the super safe strat of Mom Heal. He's very low, so he can do kind of what Araya did before and use one of his full restores when he's teaching Surf and Strength, or he can talk to his mom for a free heal. It's the fastest, like, optional heal in the whole route, because she doesn't really have the same animations as the Pokemon Center, but it is still a loss of time compared to using the full restore.
Max Cash? Max Cash? Okay.
String Flow, did you put a bot in, like, the Safari Zone, and this is just one of the random paths it wind up taking, by chance?
Another thing to mention is that in this game, you can use repels while they're still active, so you can avoid getting that text that says your repel wore out indefinitely until you want to stop using repels.
One thing we'll see that here for from March and Felmeme is when they go to the mansion, it's actually done very easily because all of it, you're going to walk all those tiles, so you're not going to really take an extra step. It's basically routed that if you use the super repel at the bottom of Pallet Town, you'll get in front of Blizzard with exactly one step left. If you take one extra step, that message will appear. That's how optimal this game kind of gets.
Yep. You literally have the perfect number of steps to get to in front of the Blizzard. Araya has finished Erica and is now on to the last gym battle. He's through the gauntlet of optionally ordered gym battles.
Ooh, both Felmeme and March taking the mom heal I was just talking about. That's really interesting because they're neck and neck. If one of them would have chosen to use the full restore, that could matter in the end between these two.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of you Red Runners would be saying, oh no, Araya didn't save for Black Belt. But this is yellow. Black Belt's pretty free in yellow because we're not in red from, playing the game at 2 HP for years.
The very first time I ran yellow, I remember SL Weed was watching me, and I just instinctively walked in front of Black Belt without saving, and he just started spamming me pseudo Y, and yeah, it's not a fun fight in red.
But March has Lapras, and he nicknamed it
Insomniacs, woo!
Oh yeah, I misnamed. He was at the Rhyhorn trainer. Now he's at Black Belt.
Oh yeah, so here he is at Black Belt, and the best actual outcome Araya could have gotten is if Machoke used Leer. If Machoke used Leer, he would have a really good chance of thunderbolting the two Machokes he'll see in this fight, which is great because Blizzard is only 90% accurate. So the range, I think, is, 92 or 93% after Leer for Thunderbolt, which is better than the odds of Blizzard missing.
But luckily, he only missed one Blizzard, so he's not too dead.
And hopefully that's the last Blizzard he misses in this entire run. Some very bad Blizzard misses can just kill your run here. Max Cash appears to be in Sylph again, which is strange because he was in the Safari Zone, so he's been going in a different routed order than kind of the intended route we've seen the other runners go through.
Yeah, Max Cash might be going a bit overestimated here.
Yeah, that's something we'll tackle when it gets closer. But he might be trying to fix all the things that are wrong with the experience route that he has. Probably trying to save some rare candies to fix his experience route, because if he can save some of the extra rare candies, if he knows he's gonna level up and lose those badge boosts we were talking about, he might be going for the extra 200 IQ play and keeping them so he can fix his experience curve on the fly. So Araya is getting through one of the worst fights in this run, actually. Giovanni is very scary because depending on what the leading Pokemon of Dugtrio does, really impacts the rest of the fight. Because if we take damage, there's almost nothing we can do. We can die to a crit, or we can live, and then the next Pokemon that comes out is Persian. We still have to use one more X item to get through him safely. And slash crit will kill. If we heal, slash crit will put us back to roughly the same HP. So it's a heal loop. So Giovanni is just one of those fights that for marathon and races you just save for and hope it goes well, because there's really nothing you can do to play around it.
Yep. You basically can get Earthquaked, Fissured, or Dig from the Dugtrio. If you get Earthquake, you're in really bad shape because you have to risk something again on the Persian. And if you get Dig, you're okay unless you get critical. And if you get Fissured, then you just say, praise the Lord Jesus. Because then even if you get Slash from Persian, it will hit you just the perfect amount to get you into Red Bar.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, T.I. Kevin, but I'm fairly certain that Nidoking going into Giovanni is actually slower than the Dugtrio, right? It becomes faster because of the X speed we used. So the AI, even though it's using a move that is kind of a good choice in the moment, even though I'm pretty sure the AI there is just random, it's actually bad because by the time its move goes off, we have now boosted our speed and it can no longer fissure one-hit kill us.
Yeah. Nice. Max Cash in Red Bar going into Sand Slash, but something seems wrong with his Horn Drill count. He only has 2 Horn Drills left. I don't know why.
This is I'm seeing what you're seeing here. Okay. So
he should be totally fine just earthquaking the rest of stuff.
Yep, because
but I don't know why he's down a Horn Drill. That's
really interesting, yeah. The kind of nice thing about Vaporeon strats here is Flareon strats here is Flareon will just die to the Earthquake. One thing that we have to kind of always watch out for, since Felmeme is on Vape strats, certain Pokemon are in different orders, basically, at the end game for the rival, because it has a Vaporeon instead. So runners that are really used to Flareon might make a menuing mistake that can kill them, because they're expecting to, for example, Horn Drill a Cloyster when they might Horn Drill Ninetales, which is going to throw off the rest of the fight. Now, Pseudo, do you know why March is so low level right now? I've actually kind of been staring at that. I have no idea.
I feel like he might have forgotten to use his candies in Silk or something.
We'll have to see here, and I think you can still fix that. If I recall correctly, you'll level up also after the Cool Trainer, and you can basically just triple candy. So it kind of fixes itself, but he might be off on that. We'll have to see here.
Yes, it is 1, because the Magneton is a higher level on Vape strats.
That's one reason why Vape strats are just kind of odd, and the change with the new route works out better. But the problem is you would have to pick up 2 rare candies. Vaporeon Strats has a bunch of different options, but most runners, I haven't forgotten a candy, is what March says.
Oh, he shared XP somewhere with Charmander. That's unfortunate. I wonder if any of these runners will do a swag boulder. The task swag boulders.
How many frames were lost to that?
Oh, we got a swag!
Ooh! Araya really showing off his experience. This is a really good race time.
Yes.
He's definitely on sub 2 pace depending on how E4 goes. And not to jinx it, but this might be on Snorm's pace.
The dog is excited about the Riot's running.
My dog really wants Araya to beat that Snorm's race world record. Yeah.
PC and dice sub.
Wow, Max Cash living on
Living at 1? What is going on?
Optimal routing.
What is going on?
See, the HP is a resource, right? You want to use all of it. He's slightly behind it. Ooh.
March slide showing a bit as he goes into the Giovanni fight.
Slide showing?
Yes.
I love the term.
But Felmeme's made it to his level up menu with the candy and elixiring before black belt, so he's all set there.
So not to pull like the standard, it's still anyone's race, but it is true that yellow has a really risky end game, and I don't foresee Araya getting so unfortunately lucky that he couldn't pull out a win here. But you're probably gonna see one of our runners that gets through E4 die at some point, because a lot of the risk in yellow runs is actually in the end game. Basically, from Blaine to the end, there's just certain fights you have a certain chance to die, and we just kind of had to power through that. And T.I. Kevin, what pushes you to still play this game when basically at any moment you can lose a 2-hour-long run to something like a crit on your final rival?
To me, this game is like the game that really put in terms of fun and being like an actual modern Pokemon game. It has colors. It has sprites that don't look like the weirdest thing in the world. You know, it has a lot of the modern game mechanics. So, like, this is a very classic Pokemon game, and it's actually like you get to play most of the game, most runs, if you execute an early game properly, or even if you miss some of the YOLO balls and keep going. The Moon Manip isn't that hard. You'll get a lot of runs, and you can play most of the game through Giovanni on most runs.
T.I. Kevin, I believe you're 6 in this category, correct?
Something like that.
So T.I. Kevin has a lot of experience with kind of the optimizations and looking at that higher level play and routing and whatnot.
Yep.
So Araya is going into the Lorelei fight here, and basically it's a free fight as long as you don't get crit or sped fall. So with both of those, if you get crit, you just die, which is why I believe Araya saved. But there's an interesting thing that happens. It can use Bubble Beam, and that will make us slower. So what we try to do is use the next speed. And in in red, Lorelei is 100% to use rest on turn 2. In Pokemon Yellow, that's actually not the case. There's a very small chance it'll use an attack move. I believe it's like 20% or something like that. So
it's like 80-20 to use Rest on turn 2 in Yellow.
So
thanks, Yellow.
So even if you get Spedfall and you're like, I'm good, I can use my extra X speed, you can still die to the 20% chance she doesn't rest on turn 2.
There's also a lot of weird quirks with how it works with paralysis. If you get paralysis and then use an X speed, it will erase the speed drop from paralysis and give you the speed boost from the X speed. So there's a lot of weird quirks with why you are able to X speed and fix some of these problems, like the ball beam speed drop. And also, like, if you get paralyzed and you don't use the X speed, but you heal off the paralysis, you will still have a speed drop.
Araya going for the next level play here. So, runners have a choice going into Bruno. Bruno is, in my opinion, the most decision-heavy part of E4. Basically because you get to kind of choose what you want to risk and where you want to take that. So he chose to, he needs to use an elixir before he finishes the run. But if he would elixir before this fight, in kind of like the optimal setting, he would have exactly 5 blizzards in order to get through the rest of this run. Blizzard's 90% accurate, and 2 of those blizzards, if he misses, are kind of just run over and he'd have to redo the fight from a save. So he's choosing to elixir after he uses one of the blizzards on the first Onix. So the risk trade-off for that is that Hitmonchan can use 2 moves that are really annoying for you. It can use Fire Punch and Ice Punch. Fire Punch can burn you. The damage is kind of inconsequential, but the burn you kind of have to get rid of because Agatha, you're going to need Earthquake. And then freezing is just kind of rip. You have to use a full restore and it's really bad.
Also, Araya is on Agatha, whose phrasing is a bit hilarious on this intro cutscene. She tells about how Oak used to be tough and handsome, but now he just wants to fiddle with his Pokedex.
Oh, Gen 1 Pokemon. So Araya got lucky there. He hit the blizzard and he did not get a supersonic hit. The worst thing that can happen in Agatha for him in that fight would have been if he got confused from the Golbat or missed blizzard. So he's coming through on this fight now. And March and Felmeme neck and neck gonna go into Victory Road. This is gonna be really close between them.
Okay, Juan. Yep, so this is really going to be the battle of menuing between March here to see who has the cleaner Victory Road stretch.
Or I like what Stringflow said, let Onix decide. So we kind of brushed over it, but when Araya was going through Victory Road, there's on one of the floors a chance that you can get random Onix encounters. And something really unfortunate happens if you get one. Well, it just turns out if you're running away optimally, which is kind of hard to keep in mind to not do to some degree, you're more likely to get another Onix encounter after you run away because of this thing called D-Sum. So you are really just kind of unfortunate if you get an Onix, and it's a lowish percent chance, but it's about 11 seconds with Onix.
Max Cash doesn't have any horn drills for some reason, so he is attempting to Earthquake the Venonats. Which...
That's gonna work for these Venonats, I guess, but the final Pokemon is a Venomoth.
I don't know how all this is gonna work.
He crit!
Venonat. That's good. I mean, this will hit
Thunderbolt.
probably because of Gen
Oh,
1
he
problems.
just X attacked. Oh no.
This will hit because of Gen 1 problems, but I don't know if he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
kill it.
Oh
yeah,
no.
So he didn't kill, but
Yeah,
it has
it did.
psychic. So
That
yeah,
was almost
Max
really
Cash.
cool.
Max Cash, you gotta have horn drills for this fight.
So we can talk about something quick. Why did Earthquake hit there, T.I. Kevin?
Because in Gen 1, Pokemon don't have stuff like Levitate. So unless they're flying, they don't actually fly. Unless they have flying type. And also, I think it doesn't flying have to be the first type if it's dual typed?
No, the dual typing bug, if I recall correctly, is just a text bug. It will still function all correctly. It's just a text issue.
Yeah. So, the text that happens when you have two types in a Pokemon is determined by the first type and not by a averaging of the two types.
Oh no! Falme making the fatal error!
Having to reset a boulder.
When it's this close, this is not what you want to decide the race between two close runners.
Yep, and this can also mess up your repel timing if you have biking in this stretch. So let's see how we can do from here. Araya definitely could get the 157 here. I don't know if it's going to be below Snorms' time, but he is on a really, really great pace in this endgame.
So, anyone who loves animations in Pokemon, I want you to throw some PogChamps down, because Gen 1's got you covered for some reason, and not some reason, because it's cool. The Gen 1 Pokemon games turn on animations by default for the final champion fight. No!
Oh, Araya gets critical by the Earthquake. He will not get a fabled 157 race time.
So this is the major difference I was talking about before between Yellow and Red. Red has chances to die at the end, but Yellow has just a higher chance to die at the end than Red. Red has a lower finish chance overall, but a lot of that's due to early game and mid game issues. The late game is pretty safe. Yellow, you can get all the way to the end, and you just have such a high chance to die still in comparison to some other games from like the 7th gym to like the end. This Run Please was the name of the Pidgey. I'm so glad I finally was able to read it.
Yeah, Araya wasn't on pace to get the world record for races, but he was in the same like realm of times. He was only like a little bit behind.
Without that death, it was a really solid run. Araya just did a couple D-Rust runs of this game recently, and you can tell how experienced he is with this game because he didn't spend like a heck of a lot of time relearning this entire run. Just a couple of D-Rusts, and he plays at this level.
Araya is guaranteed to win now that he has gotten through the hitting Blizzard and hitting any possible ranges. I don't think there are ranges with the way that he candied in this run, but he is through all of that risk now, and he is guaranteed to hit all of these horn drills. Also, he's in very good red bar. He will keep red bar through the end here. Oh, he's gonna have to Earthquake a few at the end because he didn't have any extra PP items, so he had to use horn drill Earthquake on this last stretch. Araya was gonna bop Pseudo in a marathon.
I don't think that's hard to do.
Max Cash is dead to Venomoth again?
This Max Cash might just be saying this Venmoth in his sleep tonight because that's how much trouble he's getting.
We're gonna have to mercy kill that Max Cash.
Yeah, we're going to basically end off the race when March and Felmeme finish off. But Max Cash, congrats for sticking it out, man. Yeah. Please feel free to keep on playing. But just wanted to let you know.
Araya definitely in the 158, which is an excellent race time.
And that's with the death. Without the death, this would have been like world record pace for a race in which you're
This
saving
been like
a
one
lot.
of the top race times.
Yeah, it was a really solid run. Araya really showing a lot of skill and knowledge of the whole entire game and run.
The old 154 in-game time. That used to be like a world record, you know.
So the final time for Araya was 1:58. 58. Let me pull that up here. That's a really good time.
March a little bit ahead of Felmine here through Lorelei. Oh, one thing that's cool to note about the E4 is, okay, so every time you finish an E4 battle, there's these doors that have to open up after after you beat the E4. Remember? If you menu before the doors start opening, instead of getting stuck on the door, you will have the doors open for you as you're closing the menu and not get stuck temporarily on the door. So the correct place to menu, if you are in the E4 and need to menu ever, is actually immediately after you beat an E4 member and the doors are opening.
So Felmime and March are just neck and neck.
Yeah, they didn't do SRL for this race.
Why does Felmime have a Pikachu? Did he keep his Pikachu? Did he not deposit the Pokemon?
Maybe he brought it back out for the end because he went to the PC.
Ooh, what? Oh wait, yeah, he would have to. Oh no. Okay, good. Due to tiny little buffering from Felmime dropping some frames, we might not get a very accurate race comparison on the marathon here, but we'll really be able to kind of compare afterwards as well. Congrats again to Araya. That's a great race time.
So, Pseudo, have you been stealthily prepping a better for the Let's Go race?
No, but it's a little bit different, and I can put the names on tops. It's gonna look a decent amount nicer.
Okay. Very cool.
Because, fortunately, for those of you that care about ratios, resolution size for Pokemon is 4:3, and this is the layout we have for that. And modern HD games are 16:9, so we're going to be able to use a completely different layout, and it's going to look great. I'm going to swap the audio so we get something for the end of this race, so bear with me as I try to do that.
Cool. Technically, though, the original Pokemon 10:9 aspect ratio. They are 160 pixels wide and 144 pixels tall, which is a very strange.
Miss Blizzard could leech life by Golbat.
Ooh, we're gonna get
So lucky.
we're gonna get some March commentary as well.
I agree, Juan. Those are great races. If we could have like a
Wait,
pseudo
do we X special on Golbat?
race,
Ah.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be a fun time.
probably gonna be dead, huh?
I'm pretty rusty on RTA runs in general, right? I'm working on classes too much to
Are you playing?
compete well in the.
You're playing
RTA.
slots. Yeah, I'm
Slots!
playing slots, guys.
Uh-oh, we got some gambling on stream.
Don't let modern kids see this. Pokemon games don't have gambling
I
anymore.
don't know if Pseudo knows, but we can't actually see. Oh, there you go. So I don't know. Like, I couldn't see half of thingy's screen.
So, March is heading
Do they
into
have good audio
Lancier.
now?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, maybe since
Seems like it, right?
Yeah.
The
Since
Discord group.
since
Alright, you're headed in the
Araya
lands here
stopped.
with Felmeme and March. March
Oh.
or Refi
Hey.
at the end stretch.
Yeah.
It's going.
What am I doing?
That sounds cool.
Oh.
I'm excited.
Wait, I need blizzards.
Still
Fuck.
Both with 159
nice.
in-game time. It's been a close race between Felmeme and March.
Fuck. Yeah, no, yeah, head filming.
Nice. Woo!
I'm not gonna lose the run to the Pikachu animation.
Max Cash winning
maybe.
winning some payout.
Oh, you didn't save the. Oh, you did. Okay, never mind. Well, we're saving at the same time.
Interesting from String
We're
Flow
legit
there.
saving the
No,
at
this
the
is where
same
I'm gonna
time.
pick it.
It's crazy.
Can you actually make
Oh,
money
I
on the
did
slots
that.
over time? I've always liked watching you do it.
And the grit.
Yeah, when is slots been
I'd
in?
be really slow on my
Wait.
execution because I'm just like, am I? Is
But
this
what
the
about
right
the
thing?
ones where like the
Let's
golem
go,
comes down
I
and
don't
like
miss.
moves the slots more? Is
Oh,
that one
you
fake too?
really?
Because I
Yeah.
love that one. I forget what game that one was in.
Damn.
So
I'm
March
watching
here
you
getting
play.
Hydro Pump this,
What was it?
but Felmeme getting Red Bar off getting hit Hydro Pump and continuing to actually be in a little bit of a better shape than March.
Wait, what
Oh.
X
So he's a
items
little
did
bit
you
behind
use?
on levels.
X special and the X attack on the dragon.
I wonder why.
Oh, okay. Must have just been like slower for me.
How long
We use
is
X
Thank you,
it?
special in the next
Stringclaw.
fight, right?
Well, about as long as the Let's Go run.
Yeah, right at the start.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what move we're using on that fight.
I will be
So
sticking around
close.
to assist with commentary again. Go run. So, hope you guys enjoy the continued Ty Kevin 83 commentary, and I hope you enjoy the runs coming up from who is racing. Pseudo
Your
Drink?
lens? Yeah.
So we have
Lance done.
Raya,
Filming
Retro,
is a little quicker than me.
Wartab, and
Yeah.
let me double check the. I know I'm forgetting someone.
Mankey is going to beat you.
Nice OBS.
Mankey.
Oh, Jim Freak also. Yeah, no
Jim
one else can see
Freak.
this. You can see it if you want.
I
Look at
haven't
the
split
magic
in
behind the
ages,
curtain.
Like plus 12 on Laura. How far behind am I?
All
Three
right,
and a half minutes behind my
Felmeme down
baby.
to the
Okay.
final battle here, and March just behind.
Wait, did I heal?
This is it.
Fuck, I didn't heal, did I?
I love you, Jim Freak. Okay, do they both live?
Okay, let's see it.
It comes down to
Hey,
final.
Max.
Okay.
Felmeme Lizard.
Oh my
fucking
god.
He has a
Use the
10%
blizzard, hits
chance.
the blizzard.
Oh, he hits it!
Hi,
That
guys.
was quick though. Monk ass.
Kills with the blizzard.
Say
Felmeme
something,
is
Max.
through.
Hi,
This
Max.
mashing could matter.
Why,
this
Mark?
Is, this is close enough that the mashing, the menuing
Oh,
speed
so
could
close.
affect who wins this.
This also might come down to, so the next Pokemon that comes out can Leech Seed or Hypnosis. Hypnosis is just time loss. None of the runners want to see it.
Yes. Yes. he
Oh!
does Also.
Oh,
so-
we missed!
Yup.
Wait, do
Yup.
we
That's
ex-
good.
use
Oh,
the executor?
March just blizzarded exit.
Horn drill.
Oh no!
Rip.
It crit. He's okay.
Oh!
I'm waiting
Oh!
more on the slots
He used
than on
two
the
blizzards.
slots of.
He's still not
one
horn drilling it, even
I
though
don't
he
know
has
what's
horn drill.
happening. I don't know what's happening at all.
Oh no, he still has
He's gonna
to
die to
exit.
leech seed.
Yeah,
Unless he hasn't. Oh, okay, he didn't die to leech seed, but I'm really confused.
he can full restore if he has one, otherwise he's dead.
Okay, I have no idea what that was about, but
Oh,
Oh no.
Wait,
my
what?
God, that's
Oh,
Sorry, Monk
he
Ass.
oh, he missed
forgot!
the range.
Look,
He
Tia
missed-
Kevin, look! Felmeme
missed the
forgot
vape
about the
range.
vape strats!
He missed the vape range. Oh
Oh.
no.
Oh no. Does he have a horn drill? He
He
does!
does. He
Felmeme!
wins unless he loses to not menuing or bashing as well through. Wow, that was way more climactic than it.
Wait,
That was supposed
wait!
to be anticlimactic, but
Oh,
this-
they're so close!
This could actually also come down to start time. Like,
No! Felmeme!
Don't I?
He has Pikachu! He lost!
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
I'm talking
oh,
about.
he's gonna see Pikachu in the. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is the
Maybe.
craziest.
Maybe
race
because of
ending.
the Pikachu animation.
It comes
Yeah,
down to the
maybe.
Pika!
Maybe.
Well, it's not that he forgot to deposit. It's that.
He
Wait,
took
who
it
won?
out!
Who won?
Ow.
Who won?
It's not over yet.
Also, something else is wrong here. But I can't remember. There's too many things going on.
There's so much.
Wallis.
Oh yeah, that, I mean that's really
Wallis.
lit. Feldman lost a significant amount of time to naming his Ditto Mankey, and in the end, that's good. Yeah.
Felmeme played really well for having a Knitter King named Mankey.
You won.
Does he
March.
just have the
Complete.
Pikachu?
It's March.
Oh, March.
Pseudo Trainer, is there a different lag coming from their stream? Who actually
Yes,
wins this?
yes, because
Yes.
Felmeme was lagging. We have to
Yeah,
check.
You won.
Done.
We're gonna have to check the timestamps on their feeds from their.
You won.
timers.
Much
So
won.
we are
Much
going
won.
to me and Ti Kevin are going to join the chat here. We
Right,
need to
hang
figure
on,
out
what's
who
your
won at
time?
the end. So give us 1 second
I
to
didn't
reset
split,
that.
actually, like something 209.
209.26. God damn.
All right, we're going to find out who what their final times were. Give us 1 second again.
I'm looking at Marcher's replay.
Wonderful. That was an awesome race. Right now, I'm gonna, as we stay live and kind of figure out who won the race, I'm gonna start setting
Marcher
up
has
for
a 209.18.
209.18.
And who was the other?
Felmeme.
Felmeme? There could also be some weirdness here because I don't think if it wasn't SRL, then their timers synced up.
I do know for a fact March was the last one to start. Remember, he sat on
Yeah.
the screen.
Yeah, so I don't know if he started his timer at the same.
I feel
But
like
it looks like he won by 8 seconds.
wow, that was insanely close at the end.
Yeah, so assuming that they started their timers at the same time, which I don't really know, it looked like Marcher might have started a little bit behind even. So he would have had a shorter run even than he would have been expected to. So Marcher definitely grits that one. Barely. I'm going to be back in a minute. I need to prep for the Let's Go race. Have fun, guys.